I'm home alone and that background is even creeping me out.
Alrighty, Roo, let's do this. So first and foremost, I'm going to be priming my eyes. I personally am using a concealer because it works for me, but whatever eye primer that you love and trust, that's what you're going to want to slap on those peepers, and then we can move on to shadow. I'm going to be using the Viseart 01 Neutral Matte Palette, and I'm going to take this creamy color right there. This is the second darkest shade in the palette next to the lightest one, and I'm going to just begin to pack this on the lid, mainly focusing on the inner corner. It's a very natural shade, as you can see. It's nothing dramatic whatsoever, but that's the point. I wanted to keep this look really kind of neutral and not over the top when it came to the eyes. I'm going to mix these two colors in the outer corner using a Morphe M433 brush. I'm just going to blend this in the crease area up toward the brow bone. I'm going to continue to go in with some other colors from the palette and mixing them together, kind of darkening this up because I did want this to be an all matte eye, and I really wanted the liner and the lashes to be the dramatic part. So I'm going to take these two shades and mix these together as well. Whenever I'm working with a palette, I love to mix colors together because I feel like I have all these colors at right there, like for my use. So I'm like, why not mix shades and see what we can come up with? So I always love to mix colors when I'm working with palettes. So I'm just going to darken this up in the outer corner of the eye, but I'm still keeping it very neutral because I really want the mouth to clearly be the statement of this look. So now I'm going to go in with Maybelline Gel Liner in Blackest Black, and I'm going to create a wing that can cut people as you walk into the Halloween party. I want this wing to be very dramatic, very intense, very straight. I really wanted it to be the main thing on the eyes that just popped. So as far as the shadow, you don't even need to use shadow if you don't want. It's not necessary. I felt like the most important thing was the wing and the lashes and the mouth. That's what I was going for. Speaking of lashes, I'm going to be using my favorite, and these are the Lilly lashes in the style Mykonos, and I thought they were perfect because they're very dramatic, they're very glamorous, and I really wanted a glamour eye with like a messed up looking mouth, if you know what I'm saying. So even zombies or vampires or whatever we're going for today, even they have to rock some good lashes, right? And a sharp wing. That's how I feel about the situation. So once we have on the lashes, I am then going to go in and start working on the face. And I'm going to use my Cover FX foundation. This is the shade G30, and it's actually the palest shade that I own, and it's still too dark for me right now because I have absolutely no sunless tanner on right now. I scrubbed all of it off earlier in the day, so I am pale. So I'm actually going to bring this down and like darken up my neck as well. And I am using the Tarte foundation brush. It doesn't even have a name. It literally just says Tarte on it. So I'm just calling it the Tarte foundation brush. You'll see in a second, all of a sudden, poof, the rest of my body is a little bit darker. My hands are still butt white. Yeah, that's just what happened because it wasn't looking cute. But don't worry, I get my spray tomorrow and I'll be back in business. So I'm going to use concealer underneath the eye area. And then you can see I start to put it on my cupid's bow, my chin. I'm like, wait, why am I doing that? I'm going to cover that up with blood. Whatever, let's just throw some on the forehead. It's such a habit just to put it on my mouth area that I was like, this is a waste of very nice concealer. So I'm sorry about that. This is the Urban Decay Weightless Full Coverage Concealer. And I'm just going to be buffing it out with a damp Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, which is my absolute favorite way to do my concealer. I have a foundation and concealer routine coming up soon, so just look out for that. It's very in-depth. And now I am just setting the under eye area with powder like normal. You're going to want to do your whole entire face like you normally do, glam makeup, but then instead of applying lipstick, you're going to just make it look like you just got done eating someone's heart out. So let's move on. Now I'm going to be using a contour color. This is from MAC in the shade Shadestar. Absolutely love it. And I'm using this brush by Morphe for the first time to try contouring with it. And this is the M523 brush. And I really liked it. So I'll continue using it and let you guys know if it becomes a fave of mine or not. Anyways, so contouring as normal on the cheekbones and then around the forehead just to warm ourselves up. I didn't want to be a pale, nasty, like zombie person. I wanted to have color in my skin. I wanted to have a sharp wing. I wanted to have my brows done. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be like half glam, but half like, oh my God, what happened to your face? So now I'm just going to be filling in my brows using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Chocolate. I fill them in and then I go with the spoolie and I buff them out for like a good 30 seconds, and that is how I have been doing my brows recently. For the lower lashes, all I'm going to do is give them a coat of mascara. I did not want to smoke out the lower lash line because, again, I really wanted just that wing in the lashes to be the main point of this look. And now I'm going to be using the Becca Champagne Glow Holiday Palette, and I'm going to be mixing Champagne Pop and Pearl together and highlighting the tops of our cheeks. Honey, Did you not think I was going to highlight? Of course I'm going to highlight. It doesn't matter if I'm a zombie, if I got done sucking someone's blood, eating someone's heart. I don't care what's going on. I will have my highlight poppin', just so you know. In the grave, still poppin'. So now we're going to go in with liquid latex. We're going to get to the fun part now, okay? I am using liquid latex by Graftobian, and then I am using cotton balls. These just so happen to be organic cotton balls because apparently I got fancy. Any sort of cotton will work. Any liquid latex will work. Oh my God, it stinks. This is my first time working with FX makeup, and I just want to say thank you so much to my good friend Alex Faction for helping me with this because this is not my forte. And so I have to give him a lot of credit for helping me. So after we lay down the liquid latex, we'll just take strings of this cotton, chunks of this cotton, lay it on top of the latex, and then we're going to pack more liquid latex on. So we're literally going to make a sandwich. Then I'm going to take any tweezers and start pulling. This will not ruin your tweezers. I used like an old pair in case it ruined them because I wasn't sure because this is my first time ever doing this. It didn't ruin my tweezers, so you'll be good with that. Again, we are going to lay down the cotton and then put more liquid latex on top. So we are essentially making a cotton sandwich with liquid latex. You want to have wet latex, cotton, more wet latex, and then we'll go in with tweezers and begin to kind of pull it apart. You don't need to pull it apart, I'm sure, but I wanted to do this to give it as much texture to make it look as disgusting as possible, like your face has been like decaying or rotting or I don't know. You know, I've had this idea in mind for the past 2 years, since last September, and I don't really know if it's a zombie, if it's a vampire. I'm kind of confused. I just wanted it to be a disgusting mouth area with a pretty eye. So we are going to just continue this process the entire time in a circle around the entire mouth up by the nose and just kind of pick at it as you go. Like you'll get the feeling. It's funny because when I started it, I was like, I'm not going to be good at this. I'm not going to be able to do this. But I got into it very quickly and I was like, okay, I can do this. And you'll start to see like, okay, I want kind of a stringier piece over here. I want more of a bald patch here. And you'll start to get the vibe as you go with it. Like your creative juices will start to flow and you'll start to have fun with it. So just make sure that you continuously are really making sure that you have a ton of that liquid wet latex on because that is really going to be the thing that gives you this intense, nasty texture that just makes your face look horrifying. This is just the funniest thing to me, you guys. I'm sitting here telling you guys how to look so disgusting when I'm normally so the opposite. So at this point, we are cutting things up here on our face. I'm pulling things off with tweezers. I just felt like it looked too smooth and I wanted it to look messier and patchier, so that's what I did. Now I'm going to go in with my normal foundation that I just got done using all over my face, and I'm going to begin just going over this with a brush. But make sure that you wait until it's completely and totally dry, otherwise you will 100% ruin your brush. So once it's dry, it'll take like 5 minutes, go over it, and then I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Flash palette. I was going to say powder. Makeup Forever Flash palette, and I'm going to use the bright red and the dark brown, and I'm going to mix those shades together to get some bloody looking color. You do not have to buy this palette just for this look because it's very expensive. I would suggest just using some fake blood of some sort or just get some cheap face paint or something like that. But I happen to have this palette from a couple years ago, so that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm just mixing those shades together. I'm going to be buffing this all around my entire mouth area. At this point, I'm going to be going back and forth with a lot of different things to really make my mouth the desired look that I'm going for. So now I'm using a shadow blending brush and I'm using a really, really dark, cool tone brown to kind of add kind of like a purplish bruise look to the mouth area because I felt like red just wasn't enough at all. No matter how much red I was putting on, I was like, I feel like this is not going to give me the look that I want. So I really wanted to give it more dimension. And so it has more depth to it and really looks more realistic and just disgusting. And so that's why I'm adding in like this really dark kind of purpley grayish brown shade, and I'm just going to dust that all around. And as you can see, it's starting to look more bruised. It's starting to look a little bit more like it's rotting, like it's decaying. And now I'm going to go back in with more of that red and brown face paint mixed together, and I'm going to add that on top. Normally, I would never suggest to go back and forth with creams and powders, but in a look like this, it's ideal because you want it to get nasty looking, so it's perfect. Now I'm going to be using Mayron Liquid Blood, and I'm using the really dark blood. This is called Dark Venomous, I believe. And using a sponge, I'm just going to pack this all over the mouth area. I'm going to keep going back and kind of tap this with a sponge all around the mouth to make it look a little bit more realistic. And I'm going to blend it out a little bit. I don't want it just to be on the mouth. I kind of want it to be all around the face a little bit. So as it's drying and it's getting a little bit tackier, I'm just kind of going to stamp it around that whole entire mouth area. But I want it to be the darkest at the lips. That way it looks like I just got done sucking someone's blood or eating your man's heart out. I don't know what's happening, you guys. I'm just having fun with this, so roll with me. I'm blending out that outer area with a little bit more foundation on this brush just because I felt like it looked a little messy. And I don't care if I'm a zombie. I don't care what the situation is. My shit needs to be blended, and so does yours. So blend it out. When in doubt, blend it out. Things will get better, I promise you. So that is the end of this look, you guys. I hope that you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and happy Halloween!